Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Carrie. Long time no see, or I guess at this point no hear. You will see me eventually in this video. But we're going to start this video with a tour of my craft space. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos on what this craft space looked like, and I'm just realizing there is a dirt stain on my door. Please ignore that. If you have not gone back and seen any of my previous videos on what my craft space looked like, you might want to go back and look at that just so you have a general idea of the difference, because there really is a big difference in what was in here. But if you've never seen my craft space, then you're going to be like, well, it's a craft space, so what? Anyway, let's get on with the tour. We're looking at the back of my bedroom door. That's my calendar and my encouraging post-it notes. I'm going to try to move slow. This is a wall. Isn't that a nice wall? On this wall, I don't know if I've ever posted or did videos at my desk, but on this wall I used to have a one of those hanging shoe organizers, like, you know, that has the pockets for the shoes. And I had all of my flowers and fake flower stuff all in there, and I removed it because I hardly used any of it. I have stored some of those flowers. Have been stored there for probably 2-3, I don't know, forever. So I got rid of that, and you'll see in a little while where I moved it. I hung this over here. You may have seen me make this on my channel. If not, I'll link the video down below. That is my letter C, which was actually above the bulletin board above my desk, and then down here is my craft cart. One of 3. I never in a million years thought I would have 3 craft carts, but this is my Joann's one, and when we get to the 2 craft carts, I'll explain more, but the wheels broke off. So if you notice, there's no wheels. One of the wheels broke off, I couldn't fix it, so now it's a stationary shelf. And this is where my completed work is, and the scale for weighing. I do intend on bringing my Etsy shop back, so that's kind of where that stuff is. You kind of don't really see this. This is just kind of the office side of my desk where like my schoolwork stuff is and other important things. I have my scrap paper bin, and then the bin with some of my electronic devices for filming and whatnot. Here's my desk. Now, I'm going to pull this out. I got a new desk chair. This has a lovely blanket on it that my sister gave me for my birthday. Let's pull that off so you can see what this looks like. Oh, come on, chair. Cooperate with me. There it is. Isn't it lovely? I love it. It's soft. It's very comfortable. It's big. I wanted to get a new desk chair that was part desk chair, part lounge chair. And this fits the bill. And I can move it around nicely. My other desk chair, which you don't know, was a cheap one. I think I got like Office Depot, like, oh, God, I don't know how many years ago. But whoever made that, did it as cheaply as possible, because you could sit on that and you could literally feel the bolts coming up through the seat that you used to attach the wheels to the base of the chair. So if you shift it just right, you got a bolt in the butt, and it was very uncomfortable. I had put a cushion on top of it and I covered it in fabric, but it just never got comfortable. So now we have a nice comfortable one. Craft mat, still the same. Desk is relatively the same. There's a bulletin board, and you can see that above that I now have a sign that says, let me move closer. Those of you who are like me and you're nearsighted, it just says my happy place, which you can't see because of the glare, but it says my happy place. I made that using a frame from Dollar Tree. I did take down a lot of pictures that I had hanging there. So, and you guys might recognize this from a video. The sticker came off. It's gone. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do there. I might hand paint something on there and then cover it again with the Mod Podge to seal it. So now we have this shelf. And I think I've showed this before, where I had all of my bins for each of my projects. We're down to just 2 project bins. And then that's where that's my flower bouquets. So those flower bouquets go in that thing. Right now I have my summer bouquet in there. And then when fall comes, I have a fall bouquet. I have a Halloween one, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, spring, and I feel like I'm missing something. But, oh, Christmas. Or winter season. And, of course, my Sizzix die cut machine. Now up here, I used to have a Lazy Susan that had all of those little acrylic drawers you get at Dollar Tree. I moved the drawers and I don't have the Lazy Susan. What I have now is just some showcasing. I wanted to move that. That's my lovely smoke detector in the corner there. It's some of my work. And some of these all of these I've made on videos, and at some point I'll link them in the description, or I'll link them somewhere, that I've made. And I put these up because these are some of my favorite pieces. And I thought what I would do is put these up here, because eventually what's going to happen is I'm gonna sell all of these on Etsy. And that way I can showcase to you, here, this is what's on Etsy right now. And then you can go to Etsy and buy it if you want. So, and then of course we have my lovely white shelf. Sorry, I think I went up too fast. I'm trying not to go too fast because I don't want to make anyone motion sick. The bottom is pretty much the same. The two bins, one with my, unused composition notebooks. That's my stamps right there. And then that's my 6x6 paper and some random paper pads. This shelf down here now has, that's where my ribbon is. My ribbon used to be hanging here off my desk. I removed it and downsized it. It's here. Bookbinding stuff is here. All of my paint stuff is here. And this is the supplies for my die cut machine. And you may have recognized this. You've seen this before. It's my little hideaway cubby. This is a foam core board I covered in contact paper, I think. And that thing in the front that says Bless is actually a piece of a placemat from Dollar Tree. That just has all of my bins, things that I don't need to necessarily have on display, backup supplies, fabric. That's fabric, glue. All my glue stuff is there. I used to have my glue stuff out in one of those bins down here, but I decided that glue doesn't really need to be on display. So we put that in there, and I have my glue stick and my art glitter glue at the desk for when I need it, and this is just the backup to restock when I need to. And painter's tape and other little floral stuff, some yarns and things like that, and twine. And this shelf is this is my ephemera bin. Everything in here is different types of ephemera. There's a stencil in the back. This is stuff I got from Hobby Lobby that was actually part of birthday decor for my birthday party. I've got, this here has paper clips in it for doing decorative paper clips. I've got all of my elastics. And this is something new I got. You may see those in the future. They're clips to go on the end of ribbons, and you can add little charms to it to make decorative bookmarks. This is my washi. So for those of you who don't know, I had those giant washi rings on this side of my, which is now empty, on this side of my shelf, and I had 3 of them full. I downsized to this bin, and then there's another container on another shelf. I've got some bits and bobs, my gem box, and I'll show you what gems I'm talking about. Bits and bobs are just, what it is, bits and bobs, bits and pieces of things that might go on notebooks, stuff like that. Then I have these. You guys, I got these at Dollar Tree. Aren't these awesome? So everything in here is little bits of ephemera, all my gemstones, just little bits of things just for making closures for notebooks, which, sorry, I just veered off and you didn't even see that, but all kinds of just stuff in here. I've got 6 containers. This one's got, basically it's all the kind of stuff that I would use on a notebook or on a project. And I've got some stuff in the back. Bits of ephemera. I've got sequins in the back, in a container in the back. But these are awesome. These are awesome. And you could take the little doodads out. They're not stuck in there. The little round containers. And just use the squares if you wanted to. And I think some of the dividers in the squares, are removable. You wanted to make them bigger. I will repair that later. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, this is a little shopping cart. I got it at Ace Hardware. It was cute, so I got it. Anyway, this is where all of my plastic and acrylic drawers now are. And I have that little shopping cart there because this is where I'm going to shop for stuff. I've got stickers. These are gemstone stickers and flowers. And so basically, I fill this up with the gemstones that I want. And when this empties, then I take it from this box and replenish the drawer. That way I'm not having to pull the box out all the time. This is pearls. So I've got stick-on ones. And then this is glue-on ones that I got. They're Tim Holtz. So I put those in there with these as well. And the other ones, the stick-on ones, these are from Dollar Tree. I've got pink, blue, and white. This is just I don't know what to do with this stuff, random stuff drawer. I think you guys have seen me make these on my channel. They're just glitter and glossy accents I use to cover it. And these I like to glue on front of notebooks. We've got some lace. Different types of ephemera. These are stickers from Dollar Tree. They're those craft stock ones. I thought those would be good to make ephemera for like the front of or in notebooks. My flowers and other little tags from my Sizzix. Can't see where my hand is doing. These were stickers from Dollar Tree that had the puffy tape on the back to puff them out. I took that off, and that way I can glue these flat. They're just little cupcakes, different little cupcakes, ribbon scraps. Ribbon scraps, word stickers, more random stickers, vintage ones I think, other random stickers, flowers, and just random stickers. And then this is like random ribbon. It's like, I think it's like a chenille or whatever. I got these 2 rolls from Hobby Lobby, this color, and I got that one. And I got this large pink one at Joann's as they were going out of business. So I'm going to cut that up and make a smaller roll like the ones you saw in this drawer. Okay, my rocks. I got various jars behind that. One of wood beads, one of my buttons. This is my butterfly tin that usually has Q-tips in it. Stamp pads. Glitter. Which reminds me, my other glitter is right here still. It's pretty there, and, you know. More stamp pads. These are Tim Holtz. I think it's Tim Holtz. What is this? Yeah, Tim Holtz Distress Ink ones. I've got this container up here that has glittery laundry pins, stickles, glitter glue. And if we go up again, we've got the bins. Now, if you see my other, tours, I had these before. I've taken what used to be a whole bunch of bins and narrowed them down to 6. But what I've done is I've taken other bins that were here that had stuff in it, and I've combined them. So I have my jewelry one, a charm making box, bottle charm box, 1 bead box. I had 2 bead boxes, now we have 1. A box for my cereal charm supplies, and then keychains and binder rings. Up there is my laminating machine. Behind it is the bin with the Christmas/holiday crafting stuff. That's a scrapbook up there that I kept meaning to do for my trip to New York and never got around to it. Come on, camera. My sign that says love. And behind that is another bin with some other ephemera. It's got those giant tags I think you've seen me make. The paper bag ephemera that you've seen me make. Stuff like that in there. Stuff I've made out of envelopes. Now there's my wall here. Now here I had another piece of a shoe organizer there, and I pulled it down. And some of that stuff was now in the drawers on my shelf. I didn't make this. I won this in a raffle, but isn't that pretty? Someone else made that out of jewelry, bits and pieces of jewelry. That's gorgeous. And then that I made, just a sticker over a frame from Dollar Tree. And that's a letter opener that someone my mom used to work with made. Okay, so these are my scrapbook bins. Now these are those bins, you saw them up here as well. There. They're the ones that come from like the school section when you have back to school and they come in different colors. And this has my paper scraps, but I attached this on here. These come from, and this, which is also on my desk, are those stick-on removable wallpaper sheets from Dollar Tree. And I'll show you, I did that to this one. And I know you can't actually see in it, but that's why they have labels. I just think it makes them kind of fun and a little more high-end. But this just has various different paper scraps. All my paper scrap envelopes here. This is bags. This is my paper. And I have a love-hate relationship with my paper. I'll tell you that right now. Storing it has become kind of a pain. Originally, I had them in those, I don't even have those bins anymore, but those bins, you get them at Michael's that are 12 by 12 plastic bins. And I didn't like that because it was a pain in the butt to have to pull them out to go through them. So I got rid of all of those, and I had made a box out of foam core board. And that ended up falling apart, and it was hard to move. And so I got rid of that, and I had gotten this box from Dollar Tree that had been a box that their calendars come in that had emptied, and I took it, and I used that, and for a while it was good, and then eventually what would happen was the paper kept flopping over the side, like it was wilting over the side of the box. I'm like, okay, I don't like that. So this is one of these, it's not a wire rack for baking, it's one of those wire rack shelves. You can get them on Amazon, and it's just, you get these squares, which are not quite 12 by 12, unfortunately. They're more like 11 by 11, or like 10.5 by 10.5. And you clip them together with these like round clippy things that hook them together. So there's no screwing involved, no tools involved to make them. And that shelf used to be over where my Joann's craft cart is now. I moved the stuff from there onto that cart, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and so I ended up deciding I was going to make a storage system for the paper. And originally I had a piece on top, and that was when I realized it is not 12 by 12 and paper won't fit. So I took that piece off, and now I have, there's dividers, you know, each one. So I have them this way, and I can just kind of go through and then pull it out. And I did stick the plastic things in here to divide them. You can't actually see the name on them, but we'll fix that eventually. But it's neater. They're not flopping over as much. The only problem is that there's less space for this. So we have to figure out what to do with that. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, before I even get into the intro part of this video, that we're going to be doing a series called Scraps, Scraps, Scraps. And I don't think I have to tell you what that means. Because Carrie's got scraps, and we need to do something with them. Now here's my wall hooks. I don't know if you guys know this, but this pink thing is a decorative sign, and I think was out at a Valentine's Day at Dollar Tree like 2-3 years ago. And I hot glued and screwed one of the hanging racks from Dollar Tree. They're just the one that you would screw into like the back of a door, to the back of this, and turn it into a hanging rack. I've got my long wall stickers, decorative ornament that was a gift to me, and this is where the remainder of my flowers are. That one should be inside. I think I got lazy, but that's where they all are, the bigger ones. So, and now we're almost to the end of this, you guys. There are my two craft carts, and it's hard to see them, I'm sorry. So this one here is the one that was next to my desk. It's my regular standard craft cart. It's got all my craft supplies in it. It's my sticker bin's right here. You guys, I narrowed it down to that little bin for my stickers. That bin has all my stickers. At one point, I had 2 of these guys filled with stickers. Now, I just have that. I don't know how I did it, but various pens and crayons, stamping supplies, just all the things I normally use when I'm at my desk that just can now be pulled over to my desk to be used. On top of here is some stuff I was going to make a recipe book with. If you want to see me do that, say so in the comments, and I'm sorry you can't see here. You're probably thinking, why don't you just open the window? Because my backyard is a mess, and nobody wants to see that. This is my faith cart. So everything on here is faith-based. This basket right here has my other washi, my faith-based washi. And this is all stuff for Bible journaling and Bible study and all that stuff. So that's what that is. And I think that pretty much concludes our tour. I'm sorry if it was a little bit wonky. My cup on my desk with my chai tea. There's my desk again. But yeah, I really like this. I have a lot less stuff, but I still have enough stuff to work with. And, oh, those bins just have the wallpaper scraps and then random scraps. And of course in the drawers, you know, as usual, it's my colored cardstock paper, 8x11 stuff, and like greeting cards and various other paper things, tissue papers, and all that kind of stuff is in there, which is what was always in there, and paper towels. And then I had a bin that had a whole bunch of rolls of like wrapping paper and contact paper and then my craft paper. Now I just have that one roll of wrapping paper and the craft paper. And yeah, so we're hoping not to go. Everything I'm doing, I'm gearing towards making journals. So that's where most of this is going. There may be other things we do. So I'm going to go ahead and move my camera to a stand so you can see my face. And then we will talk about going forward what's going on with the channel now that I'm coming back. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit. All right, here I am on camera. I just went back and watched my original intro video from 2023, and wow. I don't want to say I look completely different. I mean, I still look like me. I have the same glasses, but my hair's up this time, and but I realized that my intro video was like 45 seconds long. It could have literally been an intro reel. Yeah. So the reason I'm doing a re-intro is because if you guys follow me a lot or whatever, you noticed I went on hiatus for a while. And that was in part to do because I wasn't getting that many views, and the channel was becoming a have to instead of a get to. And if you know what that means, whenever something becomes a have to, it means you're starting to see it as a chore. I have to do this, I have to get a video up, I have to come up with a craft idea, I have to do this, I have to edit, and I didn't want that to be the case. When I started the YouTube channel, it was meant to be something that I enjoy, something to help me with the depression. I said my struggles, which I never actually told you what they were, but I think I've gone over through videos that my struggles were related to mental health struggles, depression and anxiety. And I lost track of what I was saying. But it was something to do that was fun, that was going to give me something to do during the year that I was off, and help me with the depression and anxiety, and help you. And I realized in that intro video, I never actually told you what I was helping you guys with. So you were all probably pretty confused. Like, she said she's helping us with something. I'm assuming it's making stuff, because I don't even know what our struggles are. Well, that's going to change. When I came up with the idea to do the YouTube channel, which would have been in 2022, as I was praying about quitting my job, I told God in the beginning that the channel was his. He was the CEO. I was going to be his employee. And then I promptly became the CEO and the employee and didn't do anything that God had asked me to do, which was to talk about my struggles. I mean, I mentioned I had struggles, but I didn't really tell you my story. I didn't tell you what life was like having said struggles. And as I took the hiatus, I made a decision what I was going to do with the channel, because I knew I wanted to keep it because I loved it. I knew I had to bring it back to the Lord. So if you watched my little reel where I said I was coming back in September, you might have noticed there was a Holy Bible in that reel. Okay, first of all, I'm not coming on here to preach the Bible to you. I'm not going to be one of those faith content people who gives you a word of knowledge or prophesied. I don't do that. I don't have that gift. But I am going to talk about my story and how God helped me through my story as I craft. So I will still be crafting, because that's what I do. And I told you I was going to be DIYing. Technically, I mean, DIY stands for do it yourself, so I am technically doing this myself. So I guess it counts. But most of my stuff is crafts. You've seen what I make. If not, go back through my YouTube channel, see a few things. And if you want to stay, then stay. If not, then don't. I understand for some of you, you did not sign up for God-related crafting videos. And I get it. It's not for everyone. So if you feel like this is not your cup of tea, you need to go. I mean, I'm sorry to see you leave, but I totally understand. If not, please stay and watch me make things and hear me talk about my stories, my struggles with depression and anxiety, what life is like having those things. They are managed, because I do see medical professionals and stuff, but managed and cured are different things. And we'll talk more about that in future videos. And, yeah, so I have to have God in this, because otherwise it's not going to work. God is very much the forefront of my life. Everything that I have gone through over the years, from that first intro video to this intro video, I couldn't have done without God. The other reason why I ended up taking a hiatus was I had to take I got put into a college algebra class, and it ended up being a nightmare, and I failed it because I don't have the kind of skill for college algebra. But it was so stressful, I didn't have time for anything else but math. So that was the other reason why I didn't really get back as soon as I'd hoped. And I am back now. I am still in school, and I will start fall semester. As I'm filming this video, it's still August, and so it'll be next week, which will be the last week of August. My fall semester begins, and I will not have math, so that's good. So we'll have that, but hopefully I'll be able to maintain at least one video a month, like I had originally said I was going to do. Well, the things in each video, I will be doing some type of crafting, and I will be talking about things that pertain to my mental health struggles and other struggles I've had, and just other things. When I was praying about this and what to do with the channel, God keeps putting it on my heart to talk about my story. Tell your story. And I was like, God, I can't tell my story, God, because I don't have an ending. I don't have a victorious ending. I kept thinking I had to get to the ending and have the victory. And in my mind, my victory for me is to have the husband and the children that I've been longing for since I was 16. For those of you who don't know, I just turned 47 in July. So it's a long time. And it wasn't until speaking with my therapist that I realized that we as human beings have multiple victories. So yes, that's one victory that I have yet to accomplish, but I've had other victories. Getting to this point, that's a victory. Quitting my job after 20 years, that's a victory. And so I need to talk about those victories, and God told me, He said, someone out there needs to hear your voice. So that is what I'm going to do. And again, if it's not your cup of tea, I totally understand. You don't have to stay here. There are other YouTubers who do content for crafting that really don't talk about the Lord. So again, you don't have to stick with mine. But that is what's going to happen going forward. Is each video will have a craft. And I will be talking about, I'll have picked a topic to talk about. I think the first thing we'll probably talk about is my mental health struggles and what actually happened when I quit my job. That I mentioned quitting in the first intro video, and what that was like for me and all that stuff. So, and as for the crafts, one of the other things that I looked at going forward when it came to redoing the channel is the fact that I was never very prepared for any of my videos, and some of you probably picked up on that. One for sure I know because someone had called me out on it in a comment. And I tend to be trying to rush through all these videos. And so one of the things the channel's not going to be is it's not going to be a drive-through fast food type YouTube channel. Okay, so my content will probably come a little bit at a time, but it will be more thought out. It will be more prepared. And so some of the first things I'm going to be doing is I'm not even going to be doing big crafts. I'm going to be making ephemera and just doing things that are going to set me up to get to doing the bigger crafts. Because I do intend to go back to doing the bigger, like the journals and things like that I really love. But the first thing I want to do, as I mentioned earlier, is deal with all of the scraps I have. So we will be doing a series called Scraps, Scraps, Scraps. And that's scraps 3 times. And we will be making things with scraps. Also, some of the things I make are going to be faith related. I have a little bag. It was a Sephora bag from there that someone had given it to me. I didn't actually buy that much makeup to need that bag, but it's been sitting in my car doing nothing, and I thought, I'm going to turn this into a Bible bag. So I'm going to wash it because, like I said, it's been in my car. So I'm going to wash it, and then I've got some really nice fabric I picked up at Hobby Lobby it's beautiful. You'll see it when I do the video. And we're going to turn it into a little Bible tote bag. So I thought that might be fun to see. And like I mentioned before, I'm trying to make a recipe book, so if you want to see that. But each video I do, there's going to be some component of talking about my story, things that have happened to me. Because, as God said, someone out there needs to hear my voice. Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone and someone else out there has suffered these things. Sometimes when you suffer something and you go online looking to see if anyone else has, and you don't find anyone whose story fits yours, and you think, well, I must be the only one that suffered this, you're not. And so having our stories out there, like mine, will tell you that you're not. You're not alone. So that's what I want to do. And I'm hopefully going to be keeping God as my CEO and being His employee. And yeah, so that's what's going to be happening going forward on my channel. That space on the wall back there, where I told you I used to have the shoe organizer, I do intend on putting a sign up there that says one DIY at a time. And I may be adding a scripture to my logo. We'll see. I have to find one that I think suits it and fits and isn't out of context. For, so, yeah. I might even show you some things of my Bible, some Bible journaling, if that's something I want to do or I think wants to be seen or whatever. Would appreciate your input. I'm always telling you guys, put in the comments. What do you want to see from me? What do you don't want to see? Now, if you're going to tell me you don't want to see God, I'm sorry, that's going to be a no. Go on that. You will see God because I am nothing without God. So, there's that. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, do give it a thumbs up. If you want to come back and watch more, hit the subscribe button so you can come back and get more, and the notification bell so you know when I upload. And remember, I'm just me helping myself and others by the grace of God, one DIY at a time. Bye. I'll see you next video.